Gods give me strength, chilly out give me strength. I'm about to drive the 9F. First of all, 9F and 9F Cabrio exactly the same. One is hardtop, the other one has the... You can simply put down the roof and enjoy a Cabrio vehicle. Now the 9F has great top speed, but it understeers a bit. Terrible over bumps. You need off-road tires because you will likely crash in the city because this thing has terrible curb performance, and it oversteers immensely if you're not careful with the throttle. This thing is not balanced at all. Apparently it is very good on the rain, but I use other vehicles on the rain, like the Jester race car. See that? If you're not careful, you will slide all over the place. This vehicle is not very good for steering wheels because of the way that the brake behaves. So if you brake just a tiny bit at a certain amount of speed, you're going to drift. And that's not trail braking. So for steering wheel, this vehicle is not the best to use. It has terrible behavior over curbs. In the city, you can barely drive this with the steering wheel. It just doesn't respond to cornering, not at all. Here, where everything is perfectly even, the 9F behaves a bit better. I sold this vehicle out of rage of how bad it was, spinning out of control all over the place. But then I realized it's just how the car behaves around curbs. If there are no curbs, the car is quite drivable. It has a tendency to oversteer, small one, and it has a tendency to understeer a bit and certainly oversteers a lot. But it's drivable. But you have no idea, this thing is terrible on curbs, terrible. It's colossal, oh my god, see that? The tendency to oversteer there? There you have it. If you're not careful, the car will just spin out of control. This is not an easy vehicle to drive, not at all. See that? Too much speed, you brake just at the freaking frame rate. 144, I mean it's in those whereabouts. You cannot drive really aggressively because you will spin out with a 9F. 143 theoretically should be possible, but it's quite hard. 9F is unforgettable, really. The amount of sliding, and it's unforgivable. Just a fraction of a mile more than that stupid absolute threshold that this game has, and you're just going to spin all over the place. You cannot really tell when you're starting to lose traction. It's just automatic. Therefore you need to drive slower. It's hard to drive, and there are not many rewards to be given if you master the 9F. It's one of those cars that it's not rewarding at all. Not rewarding at all. It's too hard to drive, too unbalanced. Doesn't have the best top speed, not anymore. Back then it was alright, but not anymore. There are better vehicles. This Audi R8 is simply not good. Even slower. Despite being a lot faster, it's slower than the Dominator GTX around this track by 1 second. Well, it's on the pace. It's exactly on the pace. But I did get a 145 now, so the Dominator GTX, despite being way slower in terms of top speed, handling wise, it's much better than the 9F. 9F is just too hard to drive. There it is, unforgivable nature of the 9F. You want to take a line fast, the car just, no. It's automatic sliding, automatic spin out. And therefore, it will always be a back marker. Middle of the pack, there are worse cars, but this is just terrible to drive. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Just too hard to drive, and it's not rewarding. Not rewarding. Has somewhat decent acceleration, somewhat decent speed, but cornering wise, it understeers at low speeds. It has a huge tendency to oversteer. And it's, even if you master how to drive this, there are better cars to pick, so it's really a back marker, the 9F. The 9F Cabrio is exactly the same. Exactly the same.